Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from SkiEssentials.com.
I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. It's been a fun week. It's been a busy week.
Well, it's the holiday week, but we had fantastic snow and weather conditions. So everyone that came here, at least, I think had a fantastic time.
People that came here for a ski vacation had a fantastic time.
They nailed it.
If you came to Stowe in the past week for a ski vacation, you had a good time.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I get excited when that happens.
For the people.
It's just a great memory.
Yeah.
You just...
I feel like you were talking about that all week.
Yeah.
Of they're going to remember, they're going to be talking about this years from now at the Thanksgiving dinner table. So,
I'm excited.
I think you're right. No, it has been a great week. Interesting to see what's going to come for weather the next week or so, but...
Looks warm.
It'll be pleasant. Yeah, it does look a little warm. But not tomorrow.
No.
Tomorrow's high of 10.
I know, it's in the night, there's negatives.
Yeah, tonight.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, it'll be fine. We'll get through a little bit of a warm spell, and then we'll probably get 3 feet of snow in March sometime.
Something weird's going to happen.
Oh, it snows a lot in March. Anyways, a couple announcements before we get into the news. A little different for today. We're going to put this Top 5 Fridays video up a little bit earlier than we normally do, leaving room to post this Reckoner 102 review later this afternoon, evening. We did the Peregrine 80 and 82 video earlier this week. Those are next to you, Bob.
Yep.
If you haven't seen that one, I would encourage you, to check it out. I think exciting new skis. People seem really interested in them.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of different conditions to try them out in.
Yep.
Even though they're more in the narrow category, it was nice to see them in soft snow too.
Yeah,
so it was
fun
awesome
to find the all-mountain limitations of skis in that width range for
Yep.
sure. And then for sales, Bob, the big announcement right now. Well, I suppose I should mention that we're working on putting this together too, not the boot itself, but a review of this Atomic Hawx Ultra XTD 130.
It's a long name.
Very long name.
BOA.
Very long name, but a short boot.
Yes.
Because I happen to have very small feet. That's it. And then for sales, big announcement. What I was just going to say is that demo skis are now on sale.
Yeah, and this is always they get snatched up pretty quick year after year.
Yep.
People love the demo ski sale, and most of them are in really good condition. We always kind of remark at wow, this is almost brand new.
We have probably the biggest demo fleet
around
in New England.
Yeah.
It's got to be in New England,
Yeah.
and maybe even in the whole country at Pinnacle Ski and Sports here in Stowe. And then they've got not quite as big, but a huge demo fleet down in Killington at Basin too. All of those skis you can buy on Ski Essentials, and obviously a lot of them have been skied, but a lot of them haven't been skied.
Yeah, I remember when I was shipping and we were selling demo skis.
You're this is
I would
brand new.
feel under here and there's still grease in the binding. It had never been stepped in. So you can luck out for sure and get a brand new one.
Totally. And typically what happens, or not typically, always what happens when you buy a demo ski from us is somebody from customer service will basically contact you to discuss condition.
Yeah.
So if you buy a ski and it's absolutely destroyed, we're not just going to ship it to you without getting your approval, basically. And then some of them are just in incredible shape. And that's an easy decision.
And even the ones that are in rough shape, they get weeded out even before. And they're not.
Every once in a while something will slip through the cracks, but it won't ship to you.
Yeah.
So just thought I would mention that. Bob, you got anything else? Oh, I have something else.
Okay.
Fisher is now 30% off. It's either 25 or 30% off. 2024 Fisher skis.
So you can finally buy a teal Ranger 102
at a discount.
At a discount.
Yeah, it feels like it's been 2.5 years since that ski's been out.
Yep.
But no, seriously, that is a really good opportunity. Those skis don't change for next year aside from just some new colors.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in picking up a Fisher Ranger or any Fisher, now is the time because you could buy it now and you still have, at least a month and a half of season left to use them.
Yeah.
So that's it. Now we can move into the news. So first up, we've got our FIS ski racing recap. We kind of started on this last week, but the women were in Switzerland for speed events. We covered the first downhill race last Friday. In the second downhill race, Jacqueline Wiles picked up another 13th, and then Lauren Makuga was 23rd. I believe she was 20th in the first downhill. In the Super G, Isabella Wright was 17th, Lauren Makuga 19th, and Tricia Mangan 21st. So more strong finishes from the U.S. women's team despite the absence of Michaela Schifrin.
Yep.
And then the women will now be heading to Italy. They have 2 Super G races this weekend. The men were in Norway. Do you remember last week when we talked about how the men's team, or really the U.S. ski team in general, is performing strongly this season?
Yeah, and I think we even specified that tech events were moving up. I don't know if this is following in that.
You just
trend,
ruined the segue.
I apologize.
No, the men were in Norway. This was a downhill race, Bob, so not a tech event, but these are impressive finishes. Bryce Bennett 4th, Ryan Cochran-Siegel 7th, Sam Morse 10th, Jared Goldberg 17th, Wiley Maple and Kyle Negomir tied for 19th. That is 6 athletes in the top 20.
And one of my favorite names, in Wiley Maple.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Really good ski name. Yep. And then they had a Super G as well. Not quite as impressive, but still very impressive. Ryan Cochran-Siegel was in 11th, Kyle Negomir 12th, Sam Morse 14th, Jared Goldberg 23rd. So just impressive results from the men's side. And we haven't seen that in a couple of years, and we'll see a little bit of more of that in our second topic of the week. The men now head to Palisades, Tahoe for, here you go, giant slalom and slalom.
Nice.
And then they'll be heading to Aspen after that. So fun for them to get some North America races.
Yeah, and hopefully those go off well, because I don't think they've been in those. I think this is the return to
Yes, it'll be
those
interesting.
venues.
Interesting to see how successful those are.
Yep.
And Bob, second topic of the week, if this is any indication, they will be extremely successful.
Yeah, I was trying to set you up for this one this time.
Perfect. That was
Not
a good
go against the grain.
That was a good segue. So second topic of the week, 40,000 people were in attendance to spectate the first U.S. World Cup cross-country race in North America, or in the United States, in over 2 decades.
Which is crazy. I think that's nuts.
It is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So this was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which I'm heading to Minneapolis in early May for a baseball game.
Do you think there'll be more or less than 40,000 people in attendance at your baseball game?
Great question. I don't know. I don't know the capacity of the stadium. I don't know. The Red Sox tend to draw a crowd. I'm going to go with more.
I'll take the over.
You're going to take the over?
Yeah.
All right. I'll report back after May 4th.
Okay.
So anyways, men and women both had a sprint freestyle and a 10K freestyle. Jessie Diggins grew up just 30 minutes away. I think a lot of people know that she grew up in the Minneapolis area. And she ended up 3rd in the 10K. And Bob, amazingly, that wasn't even the big story.
What was, Jeff?
Thanks. Gus Schumacher, first ever career win. This is on the men's side in that 10K. The youngest American ever to win a distance event, and the first American male to win a distance event since Bill Koch did it in 1983.
So almost 40 years.
41 years.
41 years.
It's been 41 years since an American male won a distance World Cup cross-country race.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
So huge congratulations to both Jessie and Gus Schumacher, but I would say especially to Gus, because that is just so exciting and, potentially life-changing for a young man like Gus.
Yeah.
So really cool to see. He's in the history books forever. And like Bill Koch is a pretty cool name to have yours next to.
There's a league named after Bill Koch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how you know you've made it.
Hugely influential in like cross-country ski racing in the United States or in North America, really. And yeah, it's just super cool to see. So yeah, again, huge congratulations to both of those, and a very successful event. So I'm looking forward to having more of them.
Yeah, it's good to see that Nordic spirit is alive and well in kind of the upper Midwest region. Like that's seems like it's pretty ingrained.
Yep. They're in southern Maine.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why.
Those are the spots.
Yeah. At least when I was a kid, southern Maine was a hotbed.
Yeah.
No. Anyways. And then moving on, third topic of the week, we've got a story from Bloomberg on the high cost of development and its effect on ski industry growth, and this is specifically in Japan. So just recently, we've shared some stories of development plans. Now we're learning that investors are shying away from development and in Niseko due to high costs of construction, basically. It's pretty interesting. And as we all know, there's like pretty good demand for skiing in Japan. So it feels like one of those situations where just increased supply to meet the increased demand, but the return on investment just doesn't really exist.
And labor shortage as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. They pointed out that basically the government is contracting a huge amount of the workforce to do
other things.
Country-oriented projects, and that limits the private sector.
Right, which then drives costs up.
Yep. Interesting kind of ebb and flow of
Yep.
materials and labor and all sorts of things involved.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
Sometimes these things take years to kind of ebb the other way.
And like, I'm unclear, are the current resorts like busy? Like the existing resorts?
So we've talked about that too. It's like mostly tourism based.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. Like, but I wonder if there's overcrowding issues that really necessitate new venues.
I don't think so.
Or if it's just an economic opportunity.
I think it's an economic opportunity.
Yeah, just development.
Yep.
Yeah.
That can't really be fully utilized.
Like, I'm sure there's some places that are crowded, but is that
I don't think by our
standard
definition
of
what crowded is. But who knows?
Yeah.
We need Josh as a recent visitor to Japan. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. And then last topic of the week, I love this name, Loup. I assume it's Loup.
I'd want to ski there.
Yeah, Loup Ski Bowl has launched a $6,000 lifetime pass. Sounds exciting. It's really not for a positive reason, unfortunately. This is more of a fundraising effort, basically due to a really, really challenging season out there. A current pass is $549, so that would mean it takes about 11 years to pay off your lifetime pass.
Yeah.
I can't help but like the way that my brain works just immediately starts worrying for the resort, because it's a lot of money up front, and then you're not getting anything from that person 7 years from now.
Yeah.
So it's just, but sometimes you got to do things like this as a business.
And it's not like a bond. Like, I remember my parents, like in the early 90s, they invested in Loon 2000, which is the expansion of the South Mountain.
Sure.
And they would get season pass, and it was like, $10,000, say.
Yep.
And you get passes for however many years, and then you would get your investment
money
back.
Yeah.
And so they did that, and unfortunately moved before.
Too early. They didn't.
Yeah, but it was well past
benefits.
It was well past 2000. It just took a while, but
Yep.
like for them that was a good investment. Basically, got free skiing by putting money into the bond.
Right. So yeah, this is not that.
It's not that.
So kind of interesting, and I would say hopefully something we don't see too much more of.
Right, and like you hope that they're able to invest it wisely.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like snow is a problem. So
Right.
maybe it's going to go to snowmaking. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Loup Ski Bowl, which I had never heard of, but I love the name.
Yeah. Part of my favorite things about Top 5 Fridays is learning about these
About
smaller
Loup
areas
Ski
that
Bowl,
never
yeah.
never heard of before.
Totally. I enjoy it thoroughly as well. And then lastly, we've got our edits of the week. First up, we've got The Hypocrite from TGR. Have you heard about this?
I had not.
So this basically takes a look at organizations like Protect Our Winters and like climate change advocates and the contrast of some of the activities that they partake in.
Okay.
So it talked a lot about backcountry snowmobiling
Yeah.
and like getting really into snowmobiling and then going to Protect Our Winters conferences like the day after spending 6 hours on your snowmobile.
Yeah.
And just like the kind of the disconnect there. So I thought this was really interesting. Kind of just taking a look, an internal look at what's going on.
I mean, you got to live a pretty clean life before you're telling other people how to do things.
Totally. Well, it's like, right. And like, I would say that doesn't mean that those conversations shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's never a bad thing to talk about how like our lifestyle affects climate change or potentially affects climate change. And I think it's just, I think it's like insightful for people to be like, I mean, this over here is not great if I'm saying this over here. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And then I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but we have Iakim.
Spell it?
Aikyam.
It reminds me of the 49ers receiver, Brandon Ayuk.
Sure, should we just call it that?
Yes.
This is from Faction Skis with Vasu Sohitra, and that word does mean togetherness.
Okay.
And this was very interesting. Not your typical edit, at least for what we share. It kind of takes a look at, like, particularly skiing in India, and I don't know. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting story. And then this is more typical for what we share here. We've got One Track Mind from Josh Dayak, who we met earlier this season.
Yeah, and it was really fun meeting him and then going back and watching his edits and clips and being like, wow, I can't believe that guy does that. Yeah. Like, that's always impressive to me, is putting
very modest, humble individual, it seems.
And just a world-class athlete.
Soft-spoken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very impressive.
Yep, totally. He has turned into one of my favorite skiers to watch because he's just so fast and so committed that I just can't help but be impressed. So that's it. That is this week's ski industry news. Bob, you got anything else?
I don't think so. We've done our props, done our sales, done the news.
Yep.
I think we nailed it.
Okay. I will be up coaching a slopestyle at Stowe on Sunday. So if you're in the area, come poke your head into the standard terrain park and just yell Jeff and I'll wave.
That's what I do.
Yeah, other people do too. So, no, seriously, if you're in the area, come support the kids. It's really fun to watch them.
Yeah, I like watching
more fun
those
for
little
me
kids.
than others because I used to be in their shoes and just fun to relive those experiences through the kids.
Like we were talking about it today, just competitive youth sports, and like it takes a big amount of bravery and dedication to put yourself out there and compete and kind of yeah.
I've always thought, like, especially in a sport like slopestyle, because it's all you.
Yep.
Like when you drop in, all eyes are on you, and there's no one there to help you.
Yeah.
In fact, it feels like people are really far away. You really feel like alone in the middle of a slopestyle course, from my experience. So, anyways, maybe I'll see you at Stowe this weekend, and hope everyone has a fantastic weekend.
Bye.